Hi, and welcome to another episode of Displaced Yinzer's Beer Reviews. I'm pretty excited for this one. I know I always say that, but this one I definitely am because it's another one from my hometown of Pittsburgh. It's from Dancing Gnome Brewery. This is one of the two anniversary beers that they did. This one's called Nobody's Robot. It's a double IPA. I think it's all Nelson, but I'm not sure. But I know Nelson is a predominant hop. The other one, Nobody's Monkey, I already did on here. I'm really interested to dig in this one because I had a can literally like the week it came out. And I had some thoughts on it. I won't really share what they are because I don't want to be unfair. I want to give it another go because my buddy said just wait a couple days. It's super aggressive right now, but he's like, I literally just sat mine in the fridge for 4 or 5 days, didn't touch it, took it out, poured it, and it was fantastic. So I'm going to go that route. And he usually knows what he's talking about when it comes to those things. So anyways, let's see if I don't think there's a description on here. All it says here is first anniversary ale. Obviously that doesn't tell me anything, but I'm pretty sure it's mainly Nelson hops. It's a double IPA, 8.2 ABV, which seems to be pretty standard for a lot of these. So crack this guy open and see what we got. You know, it's really hard for me to believe that these guys are where they are in just a year. I mean, most of the people in Pittsburgh, to be honest, as far as I know, didn't really... Whoops. Sorry about that camera malfunction there. But anyways, as I was saying, most of the people, as far as I know, in Pittsburgh, honestly weren't even aware of this brewery until they opened, and probably not even when they opened, a couple months after they were open. I knew about them. Oh my god, I can smell it from here. I knew about them. They were at a couple local beer festivals before they were, commercial, and I had some with stuff, and they were just way better than any of the other startups that were there that hadn't actually opened yet. So, I had been following Andrew, the head brewer and owner, for a while as far as his progress in opening it, and I was really excited when they opened. So, actually, I took... for the Rate Beer Summer Gathering that I organized, he let us in. It was actually about a month before they opened, just to. I mean, he only had 2 beers, but he didn't charge us. People were just crushing pints of his awesome beer, so that was fucking awesome. Thank you, Andrew, for that. I hope you see this. I was actually up there the other day. I was in Pittsburgh for my sister's wedding. I stopped in Dancing Gnome just to try a couple of the new beers that I hadn't had yet. Unfortunately, I was flying and I didn't have anything to take the cans back with me. I didn't really feel like paying the money to check a bag, so I didn't buy anything. I just drank there. But and I saw Andrew there. I just didn't get a chance to say hi. So I hope you see this, Andrew. I'm excited to rate another one of your beers. I cannot even believe what this freaking smells like from being like a foot away from this. It's straight. It smells like straight pineapple juice, and I can just tell by looking at it that it's not nearly as aggressive as it was when I first opened one like 2 weeks ago. It definitely seems like some stuff has settled out in it, which is great. I'm pretty excited about that because it was. I also forgot that this is a freaking pounder, and I was thinking I was going to be able to fit the whole can in this thing, but apparently I can't because look at it. Anyways, yeah, I did hear that this had a little bit of low carbonation. To me, that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially with the crazy juice bombs. Like if you want that huge juice, like you need the carbonation to be a little bit low because the carbonation is going to cover some of it up. Even though it brings the aroma out for sure, but it does cover up some of the juice too because it's such a quick bite. But so I'm not going to tilt it too much. But I mean, you could see it's almost orange juice. I mean, there's no. It's really freaking cloudy. but it's just not. It's not quite as tepid looking as it was before, which I'm happy about because I'm assuming it's not going to be quite as bitter as it was before. That was my only complaint, by the way, when I had this before. It was the flavor was phenomenal. It was just a little too bitter for me. It got me in the back of the tongue. So I'm hoping that those extra floaty hops kind of drop to the bottom of the can, and that's not the case anymore. If it's just great flavor, then I'll be happy. Woo! Man, is that juicy. Wow. So, I'll take a minute to think about it. It is big pineapple cat pee in a positive way. I know some people don't get that as a positive thing, but to me it's a positive thing. It's a certain character. It comes out probably predominantly in Mosaic, but I don't think that's necessarily in this beer. It's also a big Galaxy thing too, which I could see that being in here if there's Nelson in it too. Could be like an Australian IPA. There is a good bit of dank resinous character to it too, but it's certainly fruity. But it's definitely more the tropical fruity character. It doesn't have much citrusy, like orangey character, which I love that in a beer. I love the balance of all those different things, but with much flavor as this guy has, I don't really care about that. And the bitterness is actually really, really in balance. I'm nothing like when I had that first can. That first can was so bitter. And again, I didn't want to say it up front because I wanted to see if I would taste it again, but I don't now. I'm glad things balanced out a little bit. This beer is great now. I'm glad I waited a little bit. I am still getting a little bit of like oniony bitterness. Definitely dank, but it's not as bitter as I remembered it being. The more I drink it, the less fruity it is, and the more dank character it has. But it's definitely I don't think it's just Nelson because I don't really get those white wine characters from Nelson, but I know what Nelson generally tastes like, and I don't think this is just Nelson, but it could be, and I could be completely fucking wrong. I have no idea. But anyways, if I had to give this guy a rating, I would certainly say buy it. If people are trying to trade this for other New England hops or other half hops or anything like that, I mean, don't give up some crazy beer for it, but if you can trade like beers for it, absolutely do it. You won't be disappointed. Or even, I mean, it could be a barrel-aged stout, but it's something that you can easily get and isn't worth $1 million fucking on the secondary. So if you like hoppy beers, then I would say trade that too. But you will not be disappointed. It is very juicy up front, but it drops off very quickly. Does not linger on the palate, and it's very dry. Which I really appreciate a dry IPA. I don't necessarily... to me, the drier it is, the more that it brings me back to drink more, to get that juiciness before it dries up. So I'm definitely getting that with this. There's very, very little signs of the alcohol, which is also great. I guess that also means it's dangerous, but it's another really good beer from Dancing Gnome. They're not up to Brew Gentleman's caliber quite yet, but every beer I have from them, I'm seeing that they are closing the gap, and they still are better than at least half of the well-known hazy brewers on the East Coast. So if you can get them, trade for them. I enjoyed doing this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.